Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to do something that was brought up by a comment on one of my past videos. Someone asked me if I would really recommend Tourist Bus Simulator over Bus Simulator 21. So that really got me thinking, would I recommend the game over Bus Simulator 21? And I'm going to break all the rules of YouTubers, and I'm going to answer that right now. I wouldn't recommend either one of these games over the other one. I feel like both games offer different things, so there's room to have both. And I mean, really, if you enjoy these kinds of games, do you really need to just have one game and that's it? Just stop at the one? I personally, I don't feel that way about it. I feel the same way about Way of the Hunter, Call of the Wild. I feel like those games are both different enough that they can coexist. And look at, I'm not going to say that either game is going to be everybody's cup of tea, but I feel like if you're into a certain type of game, like for instance, if you're into games where you're driving buses, then why not have every game that you can drive a bus in. And obviously there's games out there that probably aren't good at all, that they're really horrible. um, I wouldn't say either one of these games are really horrible. So the first one we're going to do, we're going to take a look at Tourist Bus Simulator. We're going to go and we're going to take a look at all the buses in this game. So let's start out with the man. So we have the Man Lions Coach second gen. Then we had the Man Lions Coach C second gen. Just spin that around, take a look at that. We have the Man Team Bus. We have the Man Lions Intercity R60. Then we have the Intercity R61. And then we have the Intercity R62. So that's what you have for the man buses in Tourist Bus Simulator. Moving on, we have the MB, which we just have the W906. That's all we have for that one. The Neoplant, we have the Skyliner. And the BB, we have the BB40. Okay guys, so now we're in Bus Simulator 21 real quick, and I'll show you guys all the available buses in this game. Now, again, like I said, this is a city bus game, so there's going to be a lot more buses available to this game. And again, like I said, Tourist Bus Simulator is based on a real area, and I'm assuming the real buses that are on that island. So I have all but one bus DLC, and it's MAN DLC. So you're going to get pretty much all the buses. So we have the Alexander Dennis. We have two of those. We have one Bluebird. We have two BYD. We have an articulated and then non. Then we have a couple Grand Wests. We have several Ivecos. We have several MAN buses, of course. And we have our Mercedes. In this game, we have diesel, CNG, and electric buses. So again, it's a lot different when it comes to that. We have a couple Scanias. Of course, we have the Cetras. We have the VDL. This is DLC I just got actually. We have Volvo, and I think that's it. Alright guys, so the next thing we're going to take a look at is just how the buses actually function. So first of all, let's go into the options. So we have controller. As you can see, there's absolutely no bindings at all on controller. Very much like um, Bus Simulator 21 as well. So we have that. I mean, we have game, units and stuff like that. That's absolutely it. We can't change any of the settings on how to operate the bus. So you walk up to the bus. Very similarly, you press X to open the door, and you get in. Now, what I should say, guys, is that This game has no wheel support. So obviously, you know, that's why you can't bind anything to the wheel. Very much like Bus Simulator 21, you know, we just checked that one out, and you can't change any of the key bindings on the control pad in that game either. And if you don't have a wheel, you're stuck using the menu all the time. So I would have to say that, you know, once this game gets wheel support, or you know, Fernbus, when Fernbus comes out, it's going to have wheel support. They've already confirmed that there will be functions assigned to buttons on the wheel. So just kind of keep that in mind, okay? So right now with this game, you have what you call a cross menu, which actually I think I like it better than the Bus Simulator's kind of radio menu. So if I press and hold X, you see we have this cross menu come up. We have all these options. Okay, so we can start the bus, we can put it in gear, turn the lights on, turn the high beams on. Signal. We don't need to use the signal because that is mapped to the buttons on the controller. We can put the hazards on, the parking brake. We can turn that on and off. The windshield wipers, and that's pretty cool. There's two different intervals of wipers. You know, we can roll the window down. We can do the sunscreen. Let's turn the bus on so we can actually see some of these functions. There we go. So if we do that there, I'm not going to do that. Wipers, we have the kind of intermittent. We have more fast one, and then for real rain, we have the super fast one there. So if we go down to here, we can actually see these functions work. Go like that there. To roll the window down. Again, the sunshade? Nope, I didn't want to do that. Right there, you got the sunshade. But now you have to go all the way back over to it. You know, it's a little crazy. We have the driver's light on or off. We have the retarder. We have the cruise control. Now see what I mean? This is where it's really difficult because when you're driving, right? Say you're driving and you want to hit the cruise control, you gotta press and hold that X while steering. But you can't steer because you gotta move your hand to get over there, and then you have to hurry up and put that on. It's so clunky. It's so clunky. We have, of course, the air conditioner, which we will put that on, and put that down to about, I think, 19 should be good. And then if I press and hold the square button, we get yet another menu where we can open the doors. We can, this isn't kneeling. This is just raising and lowering the bus. We can turn on the kitchen, the Wi-Fi. I believe this is the restrooms. Yes, passenger monitors, which they don't work. We can unlock the luggage doors. We have to put that on. The announcement, which again, that doesn't seem to work in the game, and the various lights. So as you can see, we got the passengers coming on now. So as you can see, though, it's in desperate need of having things that you can do on a controller. And I feel the same way with Bus Simulator. So I feel like both these games are kind of equal in that aspect, right? I mean, they're both kind of clunky when it comes to using on controller. And like I said, this game doesn't have wheel support. I'm sure if it did, you could map those to the wheel because you can on Bus Simulator. So let's just, okay, those doors were already shut. Okay guys, really quick, there's something I really wanted to slip in here that I forgot all about. It's the cycling through the cameras in this game. Cycling through the cameras in this game is such a pain in the ass because right now we're in the first person cockpit view, if you will. If I want to get to the external view, I need to click the button like 6 times. Check this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times just to get to the external view. That is just crazy. Now the good news is for Bus Simulator, they've fixed this. They're going to have it mapped so you can quickly get to the external view and back to the internal view. But yeah, in this game right now, if you were to buy this game right now, it's just something to kind of be aware of. That is a bit clunky. Again, it ain't nothing that is going to prevent me from really playing the game because I don't really go out of bus view a lot. But all this stuff is completely wasted because there's no cursor. You can't press any buttons in this view, so it's just a waste. The only thing that it is good for is you can see your fuel gauge, which you do need in this game because you will need to refuel the buses. I mean, it's detailed, it looks good, but my God, you know, it's a lot of clicks to try to get to the external view, especially if you're someone that likes to switch back and forth a lot. It's a bit much, it really is. Alright guys, so let's get back to the main video. I didn't show the weather effects in Tourist Bus Simulator because I can't make it rain in this game. I can make it rain in Tourist Bus. I can't make it rain in this game. It just so happens it's raining. And I will say that neither game does rain effects, weather effects, overall very well. Tourist Bus Simulator, when it rains, it doesn't show up on the windshield at all. And it does some really weird things graphically with the cars in front of you and the road as well. And in this game, it does some pretty weird things too, and I'll show you that real quick when we hop in the bus and pull it out of the garage here. Alright guys, so one more thing. Seeing as it was raining in Bus Simulator, I figured I would let you guys check out the weather in this game. So as you can see, there's rain on the bus. There is rain on the windshield when you're out of the bus. But it all changes when you enter the bus. As you can see now, there's absolutely no water on the windshield. Is there water on the side windows? I don't... Okay, there's rain over there on that glass. But yeah, no rain whatsoever on the windshield. So let's start the bus up. Let's get these people on the bus. Come on, get on the bus. You ain't got all day. So, check the cars going by. And pay attention to under the wheels. You'll see those, like... crap. You'll see, like, these weird black patches under the wheels, and I don't know, I'm going to try to show it, guys. You know, this video is probably going to be on the long side. There's really nothing I can do about that. I can't really go into depth about showing these games in a very quick manner. So let me just see. Now, I like the water effects on the road. The water effects on the road look pretty good, but the road will do this weird render thing. Now, is it just in certain spots of the map? Because it's not doing it now. It's like the road isn't rendered in all the way when it rains out. I'm starting to think maybe that's just in certain areas. So as you can see, I don't have the windshield wipers on because there's really no need for them, seeing as no rain accumulates on the windshield. And again, guys, I should point out, the weather effects, they are working for Fern Bus Simulator. I've actually seen it in the videos, and if and when they ever update this game, all that should be working in this game as well. Because the weather effects in this game are actually pretty good. And I'm not seeing that weird rendering glitch now. So I don't know what's going on, guys. So other than the tires on the passenger vehicles having that weird black texture issue underneath them, I would have to say that this game is better in the weather effects department as well. You know, actually, I would prefer no rain on the windshield than rain on the windshield and the wipers not working. Let's put the wipers on just for the hell of it, just for some immersion here. So yeah, that's the rain in Tourist Bus Simulator, guys. Okay, so when it's raining really hard, it's really difficult to see. It's a lot better than it used to be. And let's see here. Let's see if this was a one-time bug or if this is an actual thing in the game now. Uh, well, as you can see, it's not taking all the water off. Like, you can see the rain still running down. Yeah. Yeah, the windshield wipers, they're really not doing anything. And that's it. They got, like, the one speed. So, that brings up the same thing that we had with Tourist Bus Simulator. It has this radial menu. Now, this is only something that you really need to use if you're on controller. If you're on steering wheel, you can map the buttons, and I'll show you guys that in a minute. So this is, again, I feel, the biggest weakness of both of these games, that if you're driving on controller, these menus is just not fluid enough to be driving in a driving sim and have to do that. So if I'm driving and all of a sudden, you know, it starts raining, I gotta do this. Okay. You know, it's just not, it's not right. And I mean, why should I have to, like, stop the bus? Oh, stop the bus. Sorry, guys. Sorry, passengers. It's raining. Hold on. I gotta bring up my menu. Okay, gotta put the wipers like it. Okay, we can go now. We can go now. It's good. And literally, if I go into the settings in this game, we have settings for controls and steering wheel. If I go into the controls, driving and steering, vehicle functions, there's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do. And it's got this bug where it won't even let me select these now. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. So let me back out of it. So I would have to say right now, yeah, it still won't. I would have to say right now, this game feels a lot more buggy, in my opinion, than Tourist Bus Simulator does. That's just my opinion, guys. Like I said, you may have a totally different experience, and I respect that, and I understand that. My personal experience is this game is a lot more buggy than that game. Like, I had, just randomly, all of my steering wheel settings reset. I didn't do it. The game just reset them on me, and I get into the game, and I'm hitting buttons, and all kinds of weird things are happening, and it just reset them on me. So, yeah, I do feel like this game is a lot more buggy than Tourist Bus Simulator. And again, like I said, the weather effects, yeah, neither game is winning any awards for the weather effects. Both games, the weather does very strange things. Now, I've actually seen clips of Fern Bus Simulator. The weather looks fine, so maybe they got it straightened out. I don't really know. But, yeah, neither one of the games does weather like this very well. And another thing about this game, I don't feel this is as controller-friendly as Tourist Bus Simulator. It might just be because that game doesn't have steering wheel support, so it had to be better on controller. I mean, this game is perfectly playable, don't get me wrong, and it may just be because I'm so used to playing it on the wheel that, you know, I'm just not good at it with controller. But I do feel like Tourist Bus Simulator is a lot more responsive on the controller than this game is. Okay, so with that being said, let me turn on my steering wheel and let me show you guys the differences here. Let me just shut that off. Okay, so now my steering wheel's on, and guys, I understand. Like, I don't have a cam to just show you guys the wheel, but I am on the steering wheel, and as you can see, with the press of a button, there you go. My windshield wipers are on. With the press of a button, my headlights are on. With the press of a button, I can flash my high beams. You know, with the press of a button, I can go to the action cam, which is something I like, right? So we can kneel. We could do that. We can set out the wheelchair ramp. I can turn on my parking brake. I can literally do all this right from the wheel. Everything is mapped to a button right on the wheel. I can shut the doors. I could do that. Right, so let's get back into the bus. If I want to take a look at the passengers, all I have to do is hit right on the D-pad on the wheel, and I can see the passengers. So here, if I do that, that's the high beams. My hazard lights. You know what I mean? So it's just so much better. And the best thing of all, it has a button that I can press to automatically center the camera. So check this out. I got the camera all the way back there like that. I just press the button. Bam. Right back to center. That is so useful. So now we're just going to take a little drive around, and yeah, like I said, I feel that they've done pretty well with the wheel in this game. You know, on a bus game, you don't want crazy amounts of force feedback. You just need it where you need it. There's very little resistance on the wheel when you're just driving, which is fantastic because these buses aren't like the buses of the old days. They're not, you know, difficult to steer. These buses have power steering. They're automatic transmissions. You know what I mean? They're not really difficult to drive. The only thing difficult to drive about them is, you know, the length, the sheer length of them. So if we just take this out on the road, and I kind of wish it would stop raining. I personally, this is just my own opinion, I do feel the graphics on this game are better. Now, this game is on Unreal Engine 4. I don't believe Bus Simulator 21 is on Unreal Engine 4. It's on the Unreal Engine. I don't think it's on Unreal Engine 4. This is also a PS5 game. Now, do I feel like this is, you know, good for being a next-gen title? Probably not. You know, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I mean, it looks good. I don't think it looks bad. But again, you know, these indie developed titles, they're not wowing you with the graphics. But I do think this looks good. You know, if they could get the pop-in sorted out, I think it would look really great. Now again, I do feel like this game takes the controller a lot better than Bus Simulator 21. It might just be because I don't play Bus Simulator 21 on the controller a lot because it has wheel support. You know, if your game has wheel support and you have a steering wheel, there's absolutely no reason why you wouldn't use the steering wheel. Now, talking about the pop-it, the funny thing is, if I pay attention to it, obviously it's glaring. You can see it. But if I just play the game and, you know, not really pay attention to it, it's not as bad. Now, that's another thing in this game. The sat nav. Whoa. Sometimes the sat nav works. Sometimes it doesn't. Dude, you're gonna have to get out of the way. Okay, we're just gonna pop that parking brake on. So I will say, using the menu, it's not the most horrible thing to do in the game. You know, but again, when you're driving, it's horrible. Like when you're driving and you have to use those menus to turn on your lights, your windshield wipers, to turn on your cruise control and stuff like that, it's horrible. It's like the worst thing ever. Um, but here's the deal: both games have that function if you don't have the wheel. So if you don't have a steering wheel, you're going to have to put up with using either the radial menu in Bus Simulator or the cross menu in this game. There's really no getting around it. But again, even now, like, I think that the buses, I do feel the buses just look better. You know, I think the environment looks better in this game. And again, it's one of those things where this is an actual place. The people, I think the people are lacking in both games, if I'm being honest. But again, the people they're just kind of there. You know what I mean? They're just kind of there just to kind of have the immersion of that you are a bus driver. The main focus is the bus and the actual driving. Now, I will say, in this game, there is no chatter, which I feel like that's something that they should have put in the game, because even though in Bus Simulator 21, sometimes the chatter can get a little annoying, at least it's there, you know what I mean? It makes it feel like there's people on the bus. I mean, you know, why would these people on this bus just be completely silent, not saying anything, you know, not talking to anybody? It'd be kind of strange. And again, like I said, the options for buses in this game are less, but then again, you have to look at where you are. I mean, you're on this island, and we can take a look at the map here. Let's zoom out. This is the whole map. This is an actual island. This is Fuerteventura. You guys can look it up. This is one of the Canary Islands. This is absolutely a real place, and it's a pretty horrible place to drive bus, if I'm really being honest. So guys, I think that's probably where we're going to end the video. I really hope I got everything in the video that I wanted to. Obviously, if there's something that you guys wanna know that I didn't cover, please just drop it in the comments. I do read all my comments. I will get back to you. These two games, they're just very different. They're very different games. This is set in a real location. You know, you have shuttle tours, you have sightseeing tours in this game. You have, you know, just regular stop tours where, you know, you may make 10 to 12 stops in a trip. I think the career mode in this game is a little more fun. It's a little more fleshed out. Like, there's gas stations. You can gas up your bus. You need to repair your bus. You have to actually, you know, hire mechanics and hire drivers. And your drivers, they can absolutely destroy your buses. You know, it does happen. And circles have roundabouts, which I hate. Come on. Sometimes. Wow, really? See what I mean about the traffic? I do feel like if this was Bus Sim 21, that traffic would have let me out. Oh, jeez. See? Now, they see me turning over that way. And they just, still, just cut me off. But then, you know what? Maybe that is kind of realistic, right? Maybe that is kind of realistic. Oh, you know what? Let me show you guys one more thing. We will pull off here. Jesus, I completely forgot to show you guys. Let's just do that. Let's put the parking brake on. Put that neutral. So, if you want to make adjustments to your field of view or your seat or anything like that in here, and you can take all this stuff off. Like, for instance, if you see the little bar on the top where it says my speed and the time of day, I have the mirror on the side. I have the sat nav down there. So if you press triangle, you get this. So L2, I can put that mirror on. I can take both mirrors off. Circle will take that little top thing off. The square will take the sat nav off. And if I press just left on the D-pad, it brings you right back. Now you have nothing on the screen at all. If I put that back on, and if I press X, now I can make all the adjustments to my seat. I can go forward and backwards. I can turn it. Now, I should say, guys, as a tip, This will also be your default sight. So in other words, when you manually turn the camera, and then when you kind of straighten your wheel out, it'll go back. It'll automatically go back to like the center view, to the default view. This view, whatever this view is, this is what it'll set. So like if I go over here, say let's say I want to have a higher view. So if I set it there, we'll do that. And I do need the mirror up and the sat nav. There we go. So now let's try back this up. As you can see, we have a nice little backup camera on here. I'm gonna get into an accident. I know it. Okay. Let's get back on the road here. And now if I just like turn that way. And now you can see the camera centers itself. I didn't do that. I didn't touch that. The camera centers itself and it goes back to the position that I set it as. So that's a pretty cool feature, I think. So, in closing, guys, I don't feel like either one of these games really is I would say, better than the other. They both offer very different experiences in, you know, bus driving simulation. I feel like there's room in your library for both games. You know, I know that a lot of people criticize this game and First Bus Simulator because they said that the Unreal Engine just isn't good at handling physics. But you know what? I'm not a real bus driver. I've never driven these types of buses before, so it doesn't bother me. I guess if you're an actual bus driver and you're driving this going, well, you know, what the hell, this isn't how buses drive, you know, then I guess you have the right to complain. But as I feel like the majority of us aren't bus drivers, it's still a very enjoyable experience. So in short, yeah, I would recommend both games, honestly. I mean, it really depends on what you're looking for in this kind of game. With that being said, I hope you all have a fantastic day. And you know what? Before we leave, I will say this. If you're looking for more of a challenging experience, I would definitely say this is the game. Because there are some crazy roads that you have to get these buses down in this game, and it is just, it's not easy. It's not easy. Okay. Well, with that being said, that's where we're going to end it today, guys. I appreciate you guys watching. I hope you guys learned something. I hope if you guys were thinking about either one of these games, I kind of helped you. I know that it's probably not the answer you wanted because it wasn't definitive, but yeah, I just feel like it depends on what you're really looking for in a game. And just, you know, I play both, so I'm assuming if you enjoy these kinds of games, you'll be like me and you'll play both as well. Alright guys, so thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.